Welcome back. In this video we will see how to implement findById method for the customer. So this is our customer repository video. Okay, if you have not seen my previous video, I would request you to go and watch the previous videos. Then it will be easy for you to understand what I'm implementing. So let's go ahead and implement the first add the method to the interface. findById. So we are passing ID as a string just for the sake of convenience. So this method will return object of a customer type, pointer to the customer, and then error. So let's go ahead and implement the findById method inside the customer repository DB. I have already implemented this method to reduce the time of the video. So I'm following these setup steps. Okay, so we have added the findById method inside the customer domain object, which returns the pointer to the customer or error. Now we have created this findById method here, which takes the ID as an input parameter in the form of a string data type, and findById method is returning the customer object pointer to the customer and then error. Here I have written the SQL statement. The difference between the previous fetch and this is like earlier we have used the query statement. Here we are using query row to fetch the single row from the database, and then I have created the variable C of a customer type, structure type customer, and then I'm mapping the row, and if there is any error I'm getting the error response here and logging the error message. If everything is okay, then I'm returning the customer object and returning nil. Okay, so what is the next step? Next step is customer service interface. Okay, let's go to the customer service. Okay, let's define the method here, that is get customer by ID, which takes the value of a string data type, and it returns the object of a customer, pointer to the customer, and error. So let's go ahead and implement the customer object here. Let's go ahead and implement the get customer by ID. So we are passing ID as a string and it returns the pointer to the customer. Okay, so we are going to return here service.repository.findById method, and we are passing the ID string. So we have done the mapping here. Let's go to the handler function. So handler function will be called by the app.go. So let's go ahead and define the route here. Okay, so we are passing we have seen earlier in the previous videos how we take the customer ID as a part of URL, and then we have added the validation here to ensure that the value of a customer ID, it should be always numeric. And then we are getting the get customer by, we are calling the get customer by ID here. So let's go ahead and define this method here. Of a customer handler type, we have added the receiver here. So we have copied the method name from the, we can use the same parameters. Okay, so whatever the customer value we are going to get here, customer or error, we'll separate the error for now. Customer handler dot service dot get customer by ID, and we are going to get the ID parameter. So we need to get the ID parameter here first. Once we get the customer object, let's presume that everything is happy on the happy path. We will pass that value. We are passing that value as a JSON object, so we will get the ID parameter here. Okay, so let's get the parameters. Params equal to mux dot was from using the request object, and then from the params we will pull the customer copy the variable name here. Okay, so we have fetched the customer ID parameter from the customer request, and then we are passing that value to the get service by ID method from the service, and service is invoking our findById method from the repository DB. Okay, up till now no error. Let's go ahead and try to run our program. Okay, it's no error so far, so let's keep it running. And okay, we have the database here, so 2000 is the value. Let's go ahead and run that. 2000. Okay, so we are getting Steve, location is Delhi, zip code is okay 2000 Steve Delhi. Okay, it's matching. Let's go ahead 2005. Okay, it's returning the Osman. Yeah, it's working as expected. So let's recap what we have done real quick. Okay, inside the first, what we did was inside the customer domain object we have added findById method. We are passing ID as a parameter, and this function will return this method will return your customer object and or the error. We have implemented findById function inside the customer repository DB. So we are fetching only one record. We are passing the ID using the customer row. Using the customer row method, we are pulling the single row, and we are mapping that record here. And we are invoking the findById method using the service object. So inside the service, we are using the service.repository.findById method, and we are calling get customer ID by method inside the customer handler.go. Here customer handler.service.customer ID, and we are pulling the URL parameter from the mux variable. We are pulling the customer ID parameter from the mux variables, and then we are returning JSON object response in the form of customer. Here we are suppressing the customer if there is any error. Okay, and we are binding the get customer by ID method inside the, while defining the router, we are attaching the customer handler dot get customer by ID method. Thank you. If you like my video, please like and subscribe.